Hello, hello. Good afternoon to those of you that are watching live. Let me see if I can maybe tag some people, but I won't do it on my phone because I usually lose the feed. So hello again, those of you who didn't get to see my introduction yesterday. If you don't know who I am, my name is Catherine Massell. I'm a master intuitive energy healer. I'm an ascending earth creatrix. Hi, sweetheart. That's Catherine, my friend Catherine. Hello, thanks for being here. And if you're joining, please say hello. Let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to know that. Today we are going to be working with some really powerful energy. I don't want to downplay this. And I'm going to give you a funny analogy in a minute so you'll understand what I'm talking about. But for those of you who do find this to be very powerful, very profound activation, I have an ask. I'm going to be posting this to my Facebook business page after, which is Catherine Massell, Ascending Earth Creatrix. And so if you find this to be really powerful and you would like to share it with people, because obviously in the group, hi Marie, nice to have you here. Obviously in the group we can't share from the group, but you can share this from my business page. So I really would like to send this far and wide to whoever might need it. And yes, this is for women, but working with the Great Mother is genderless. So men can benefit from this as well. So if you know a man who's on a journey of bringing more balance into his life, perhaps this would be something you could share with him. Share it from your pages, share it far and wide. And I may be taking it down at some point soon, but we'll see how that goes. But I'm getting the nudge to share this to as many people as possible. So this is the first time I am running this in here, or anywhere, as a matter of fact. This activation is something that I have been fine-tuning for the last, let's just say 3 weeks or so. And I've been working with the Mother Creatrix energy and the energy of the goddess very, very deeply. I've been apprenticing. We've all been apprenticing with the Mother Creatrix energy our whole lives. She is that which is hidden within us and is now being revealed to us as is right and perfect and safe for our own spiritual journey and revelation. But since April, when I've been teaching the Ascended Feminine Initiation, where there's 11 different light language energy transmissions from the goddess in there that are really powerful in their own right, I realized that once I started working with Mother Creatrix energy, and I'm going to explain more about that, what that is in a minute, it was like this feeling of, have you ever seen the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind? This is a movie from the 70s with Richard Dreyfuss. And when I started working with the Mother Creatrix energy, because I've done lots of light language transmissions, I've done, at this point, probably in the couple thousands of energy activations and attunements. I have friends. Do you see my little floaty friends in here? Yes, I always have friends when I run these activations. So we'll see them throughout if you have your eyes open. But that moment in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when Richard Dreyfuss goes to Devil's Tower in Wyoming, and they have the station set up to communicate with the ships coming in, the alien ships coming in. And all the little ships come in first, and then the mothership comes in. And it's massive. Emphasis on mothership. That's how I felt when I started working with Mother Creatrix energy, because I've been doing a lot of really powerful energy activations and attunements, but nothing has had the gravity and the power, the reach, the ripple effect that working with Mother Creatrix energy has. And I'm very excited to share that with you here today, because you will feel this powerful and profound effect as well. Now, a little disclaimer before we begin, and I did, if you didn't see the post that I put in the group, this is a time to grab some water for yourself. You're going to want to hydrate before we do this activation, because water is a natural conductor. So when you're hydrated, you are more likely to bring in the highest and best of this activation and this energy transmission for your highest and best good at this time. And it goes where it needs to go without resistance. So water is a beautiful conductor for that. Also, you will warm up when you experience this activation. So if you have layers, be prepared to shed them. Maybe you're in a room where you can open a window, you might want to do that. And have plenty of water on hand for after. If you want to tag some friends in the group to watch this, I highly recommend that, because the live version of this activation is going to be the most powerful, and I may be tuning into you personally. If that's okay, I always ask permission for that. But in case I see some resistance there, or see some way that I can help you allow these energies to flow a little bit better. Everyone will have a different experience with this Mother Creatrix energy activation based on what we are ready to receive at this time. Some of us are further along on the spectrum of our spiritual journey, and we will receive this in a way that is, again, perfect and right and safe for us. Some of us may feel like this energy is so big, and it's not for me, it's not for me, it's not for me. There's a couple of reasons why that may be. One is the most obvious, is that we've been taught systematically, mechanistically, methodically, consistently over eons of time to disinherit our female divinity. So when we have this much, pardon my French, bullshit lobbed at us consistently over time, not only in this lifetime, but in times that we have incarnated before. Many of us who are here as healers, we've been healers before. We've been priestesses, we've been way showers before, and we've been systematically taught to disinherit our power and our innate, inherent divinity. So this is a shock to the system. Hey, Jen, for some of us to be re-anointed with these energies again. So there's that. The other part of it is the unworthiness that settles in as a result of this constant, mechanistic, consistent downplaying of our energies in the world at large. We see this in social media. We see this in the mechanisms at work in the larger power structures that are still have a stronghold in the 3D world at this time. We're constantly being shown as women that we're not enough, that we need to smell better, we need to look better, we need to be thinner, we need to be prettier, we need to be more appealing to our husbands, our boyfriends, we need to not really speak our minds and our truths because it's not as valid as a man's truth. So this constant mechanistic play that we have voluntarily kind of accepted as just the norm allows us to feel very unworthy, allows us to feel very much diminished, powerless, weak, frail, fragile, the victim. So this will lead to feelings of unworthiness and make you feel like this is not for me, this is not for me, this is not for me. So if this feels too big for you, it's going to feel like a resistance. You're going to feel like a part of your body is shutting down. Particularly, we're working with the womb here today. So you'll feel maybe feelings in the womb, in the sacral region, even the root chakra, of a closing down or a shutting down or a contracting. This is a sign of your resistance. So I would petition you to take a look at what that is and do the deeper work involved in why you want to continue to disinherit the divinity which is inherent within you. And if you need help with that, I work with women who do this and want to find the reasons why they have disinherited, disavowed their inherent divinity, or why they feel they're not worthy of receiving it at this time. I will tell you this one thing. I'm going to tell you many things here, but I want you to really I want this to land with you. There is nothing more feared than a woman coming into her own awakening process and realizing her power. There is nothing more feared for the stronghold that the power structures have at this time in our society, in our life, in our world, than a woman who is awakened to her full strength, her full divinity, her full power, her full inheritance of wisdom, ancient knowledge. This is something we are all awakening to as women to a certain degree. It's happening for some of us who have been on this continuum of this spiritual journey. It's been happening for us maybe at a very accelerated rate if we've been on this journey for a while. Some of us are just awakening. Some of us are just coming into this realization. It's all right and perfect for where we are. So wherever you are on this continuum, on this spectrum, you are perfect. You are exactly where you need to be. And it's very important to the continued spectrum and arc of your progress to accept this as your truth and to trust and surrender to everything that unfolds for you from this point forward is exactly what needs to unfold for you. So that being said, there's my little disclaimer. Lots of water. Start drinking it now as I'm talking and discussing Mother Creatrix energy. I want you to have a grasp of what we are delving into today, what we are anchoring into and fully immersing ourselves into. We are basically diving into the divine cosmic ocean of existence here today, which is really powerful. I hope you can stay today too. I'm wearing my carnelian, which is all about the sacral, because we're all about the womb here today. So I've got my carnelian, my little red bone earrings. The Mother Creatrix energy, whether you want to call it Mary, the Virgin Mother, whether you want to call it Kali, the Dark Mother, whether you want to call it Sophia, the female Christ consciousness, and the God wisdom, goddess wisdom, whether you want to call it Shekinah, whether you want to call it Shakti, Mary, Maya, Mari, Miriam, it doesn't matter. Because it all falls, all of those names, all of those identities, all of those are extractions that can only come from the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother is the womb of no thing. It is the tree of life. It is the breath that breathes the life into the web of life. It is the divine creative matrix, the energy, the grid that connects the all that is. It is the one all. It is the hidden wisdom of the universe that lies within each and every one of us, which is a fertile seed that has been planted within each and every one of us on a soul infinite level since time immemorial. And as I mentioned, it's being, this seed is blossoming and being revealed to us perfectly in time with our spiritual evolvement and evolution and development. I hid myself in everyone and revealed myself within them is a beautiful quote from the Mother Creatrix, and very, very true, I'm finding, because we're all having her revealed to us in perfect timing, in divine timing. The hidden wisdom of the universe lies within the womb of the Great Mother. So everything we could ever know, everything that we could ever want to know, everything that can ever be, everything that has the potential to be, everything that ever will be, everything that could be imagined into being, exists in the womb of no thing, the womb of the Great Mother. She is the one voice. She is the first sound that started the universe. She is that which brings the universe into being by herself. Now within that, there is a balancing of the masculine and feminine. There was a greater understanding of that if we go back earlier than 2,500 years ago, when the patriarchal male god was fully appropriated, and we moved out of balance between understanding that there was a divine mother and a divine father. Literally, all evidence of the goddess was systematically wiped out through, even though the Divine Mother is spoken of even in the earlier writings 200 years after Jesus Christ's death, there was still a celebration of the Divine Mother, and this balance of polarities represented in what then wasn't such dogmatic religion, but it was still there. And it got systematically wiped out as we had leaders who wanted to diminish the power of the mother and balance all the power, or tip the scales towards all the power of the male. When we understand that the web of space and time is spun from the immortal womb of the Mother Creatrix, if we can anchor into the energy of that statement, the web of space and time is spun from the immortal womb of the Mother Creatrix, we understand the gravity of that statement. If you really just sink your teeth into that for a moment. So everything that we know here in this existence, because Earth is very much a space and time continuum within which we understand or make sense of or can explain our existence. We do that through space and time. So if it is spun from the immortal womb of the Mother Creatrix, everything that we understand here comes from the Mother. Everything that can be here or exist here, everything that gets created here, comes from the Mother. And if you understand the earlier statement and anchor into the truth of that earlier statement, that fertile seed of the Great Mother, which has been hidden within us since time immemorial and is now being revealed, we're learning how to use creation energies. That everything comes from us. That the Divine Mother, which is hidden within us, is now emerging. We haven't learned how to connect with the deepest level of our being. We've been believing in our heart that really nothing can fill this place, that we have this void. So here we are in this dimension. We're creating, we're having lives that feel fulfilled, but we always have this feeling of disconnect, that there's something, it's just something intangible we can't quite put our fingers on. We can't quite tap into the pulse of it, but there's something just not quite there, something that doesn't quite fit. In this timeline, we knew that we would come here and we'd be searching. Part of our commitment to come here at this time was this knowing that we would be searching. But we didn't understand fully at the time that we would also be finding. And now we are on this end of a journey, if you will, where we are finding. We're starting to remember that this is part of the pact that we made with that infinite part of who we are, that when we came here that we would be finding and we would be uncovering, and that would be embodying and then enacting from this place of the goddess, from this place of our inherent divinity. Now I know this is big stuff, so just kind of take a deep breath and just let that sit for a moment. Okay? And if it helps you to close your eyes when you're listening to this, that's okay, because sometimes we can listen better that way. So there's this void inside, and in that void there's this kind of madness, and this madness comes from understanding that we are asking for more and more of our divinity to be shown to us. We are asking for more and more of our sacred nature to be revealed to us. But at the same time, we're denying that divine inheritance that lives within us. Our infinite self knows the truth that the Mother is hidden within, and she's being revealed. But again, what I mentioned at the beginning of this call, those feelings of unworthiness settle in. The ego takes over. The subconscious mind, I have a whole other discussion about the subconscious mind and the quantum field of mind around this, but I'm not going to go into that here because that's too big. But when the ego takes over, it lets us know, in no uncertain terms, that we're not worthy of inheriting this. We're not worthy of fully inheriting our divinity and acting as if we are divine. That's too big for us. But it's too big for us because we've been taught just the opposite for our whole lives. And when you think about that as a whole, and you pull back the lens on what we've been taught our whole lives about everything is about this Father God, and how our society has been molded around these ideas very, very mechanistically, very methodically, around the idea that the man holds the power. Anything that is in opposition to that will be shut down. So there is a part within you that has learned how to devalue that feminine divinity that is inherent, that Mother Creatrix that lives within you. So it is time for us to wake up to this lie. It is time to wake up to this treachery, really, because it's been a very methodical treachery, a game that's been played against us for millennia, since time immemorial. And it's time for us to re-inherit our divinity. It's time for us to act as if we are divine. And it's time to look at anything you're holding on to that is running counter to this. Because what it is doing, it is directly diminishing your ability to create at will. Anchoring into the power of the Mother Creatrix means you create at will, with discernment, with integrity, but at will. Now, if you take that a little bit further, you understand that any desire that comes into your sphere of awareness, that is that spark of creation. That is, your desire is your compass for creation, if you will. So when that desire ignites that spark of creation within you, there is nothing holding you back from creation. If you are fully anchoring into and working with the Mother Creatrix energy, you just create. There is no resistance. Fully aligning with your Mother Creatrix energy is aligning with source consciousness, pure creation, pure being. Again, take a deep breath, because this is big. And if you've been with me since the beginning of the call, you'll start to understand why I had this disclaimer of not for me, not for me, not for me, because this is so big. And it runs counter to everything that we've been taught to believe since we were little girls. This is a huge revelation for us at this time, but it's all okay, because you will take from this exactly what you need to at this time. And knowing if you aren't fully ready to anchor into this energy and dive into this cosmic ocean of Mother Creatrix energy consciousness, it's okay. She's been here forever. She will always be here. And she will always be here for you when you are ready to take her hand and let her lead you on this journey forward. So whatever you are feeling into in terms of what you're ready to receive, it's okay. It's fully okay. And the greater powers of the Mother Creatrix understands exactly where you're at. She understands that this madness that I was talking about earlier, this conflict of, on the infinite level of your being, knowing your divinity, but on the human timeline of your being, knowing or feeling unworthiness, this disconnect creates this sort of madness within you. And that madness creates suffering. And the Mother Creatrix knows that her creatures, her children, suffer. But they suffer needlessly. So understand that your suffering is voluntary. And only you can remove this suffering. The Mother Creatrix energy is incredibly compassionate and can help you to ease some of your symptoms of suffering. But the suffering at large that you're experiencing and the continuation of it, only you can remove that resistance, if that makes sense, because you are divine. We'll always go back to this. You are divine. You are the creator of your experience. You are the creator of every single aspect of your experience. So if you are experiencing resistance, you are creating that. And it is only you that has the ability to remove it. When we get into this activation, this will make a lot more sense to you when we're actively working with and playing with these energies, because it's all about play. If you've been following me for a while, I'm all about playing with these energies. We are not working, really. We are playing. We're going to get familiar with these energies today and play with them in a really tangible way. So Do you have questions? You are really articulating what I have been feeling. I hope so, Catherine. Thank you. Catherine Hauser says, manifests as sabotage resistance. Absolutely. And it's natural for us to want to sabotage this because, again, this is unfamiliar to what we have known. Our subconscious is constantly trying to create ideas into reality. It's constantly trying to create truth, which translates to reality. So if we've been systematically told things, had things validated for us over and over again that we are devalued, we're not worthy, we are lesser than, we don't matter as much, we're not as important, we have a lot of work to do before we can get up to the male stature, right? If we've been drinking this Kool-Aid our whole lives, it's natural for us to want to resist this and push it away at first blush when this comes in. Because it's so different. It is so radically in conflict with everything that we have been taught, everything that we've learned, and everything that we have accepted as truth, and everything that we act on in terms of thoughts, beliefs, behaviors, feelings in our subconscious. And again, we're the only ones that can change this. We're the only ones that get to create a new program, a new system of belief, a new paradigm, a new structure for us to navigate in. Okay, so this activation, the womb and the tomb. I want to make sure that I use my words correctly, so I'm reconnecting here. When we think of the womb of the universe, whether you call it the great cosmic egg, the cosmic ocean of consciousness, if you think of the womb as not only an all-encompassing vessel, a container that holds all of the energy of the universe and the multiverses, everything that has been created, is being created, or ever will be created. If you think about it then as having no borders, no dimensions, it goes beyond the constructs of the mind, doesn't it? Because we can't really understand or conceptualize something that has no end. We think in terms of there's a boundary. There is this, and then it goes into this. But if the womb of no thing, the womb of the Great Mother, encompasses everything, encircles and merges into everything, it goes beyond what our mind can conceptualize. But when we translate it into our womb as women, the sacral region specifically, that area just below the belly button and above the perineum, so that space there, right above the root chakra, the sacral chakra exclusively, but the womb itself. When we think of that space, we can very much identify it as a border, something that is a vessel, a vehicle, okay? So when you think of this space as your human vessel of carrying all of the energies, and this is really big, so stay with me here, all of the energies of the Divine Mother, literally the fertile seed that has been planted by the Divine Mother within you, if you carry that in your womb, you have the ability for birth, death, and rebirth. Meaning, everything that we want to create, everything that we want to release, remove, take away, transmute, transform, we can do this within this structure of the womb. It's powerful stuff. This is how we are, think about it this way, we can only create in this realm with this vessel, the human body, Okay? This is the only filter for our experience here in 3D. It is the vehicle that receives the physical manifestations of our desires. We don't receive it with our astral body. We don't receive it with our cosmic self. Our cosmic self has no use for money, a car, a new boyfriend, but our physical self does. So our vehicle for receptivity, for transformation, for release, for embodiment is all in the womb. There is something that really needs to be understood and grounded here, in that we are the overseers of life, death, and rebirth. And I want to give you a way to think about this. And I'm talking about you as a human woman. Think about it this way. In your families, the way you grew up. Hi, Sandra. Who were the people in your family who were the overseers of celebrations, birthdays, anniversaries? The women who marked time, marked events, milestones, the keepers of time. It's women. We have an inherent, built-in mechanism for understanding the cycles. This is because of our very inherent ability to understand the cycles of life, death, and rebirth. We have always been the overseers of this. And the best way to understand it is, my mom was always the one who remembered the birthdays. She remembered the anniversaries. She was the one that created the celebrations for Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving. Hi, Lena. Hi, Dina. Thanks for joining. Lena and Dina. So this is the best way to kind of bring in this and translate it and ground it on a physical level, 3D level. Okay? We are the overseers of life, death, and rebirth. This is all something that is generated, again, from that fertile seed of the divine creative matrix and the divine mother matrix. Creatrix, sorry. And that all exists in the womb. Because that is how we inherently have this, we have the heartbeat of the universe in our womb, would be a good way to say it. We hold the wounding of our imposed separation from God in the womb. And when I say imposed separation, the imposing of that separation that has been taught to us by systems of power, religion, politics, social structures, social mores, social customs, that has been imposed on us, that separation from God, since we can remember, not only in this lifetime, but in many lifetimes before. We hold the wounding of that in the womb, but we also hold the keys to creation in the womb. This is the place of transformation. This is the place of our regenerative power. So anything that diminishes, if we bring it into this vessel of womb, we can regenerate it, we can transmute it, transform it, turn it into energies of creation. This is how powerful we are. This is big stuff. So again, let this land with you, okay? Take a deep breath. The womb offers nourishment to create life. The tomb, it is also the tomb. When you think about the ancient excavations of caves, the caves at Lascaux or Nayo, some of the major excavations of goddess imagery, goddess idols they called them, but I would never call them that. They are goddess embodiments carved into mammoth ivory, carved into rock and stone. Some of the biggest archaeological excavations that prove these goddess cultures existed, I mean, back to 20,000, 22,000 BC, I think was the earliest goddess sculpture that was found, proves that we come from a matriarchal lineage. We come from, even the most primitive aspects of Neanderthal man understood. They understood on a very primordial level, but they understood that everything comes from the mother. And you have these very beautiful fecund stone sculptures, very ample breasts, a very fertile womb, thick legs, thick arms, fertility, blossoming, life, rich, pulsing with life. That all comes from the mother. This is the place that offers nourishment to create life. And these caves that had all of these in there, the caves are very symbolic for Neanderthal man and the earliest Homo sapiens, because to them it symbolized the womb of the Great Mother, the Mother Creatrix. Life comes from the womb, but it was also their tomb. Many of their dead were buried there, which is symbolic of everything is created in the womb, and everything returns to the womb as a tomb. Because they understood the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. If a soul was returned to the tomb, to the Great Mother, it would rise again and be reborn, transmuted, transformed, taking on a new form, going forth in the world, and going through that cycle again. It all comes from the Mother. The tomb takes back the dead for transformation, liberation, transmutation, and rebirth. Why is this important for us here? Because when we are releasing and we are healing, if we're going through a healing process, many of us are actively going through a healing process right now. We're often anchoring into this feeling that what needs to be released somehow out there. It needs to go out there to be transformed or transmuted, up there somewhere or over there somewhere. But if we start taking this release into the womb, the tomb of the womb, we transmute what needs to be released and healed so that it can take on a form that better serves us in the rebirth of it. This is a powerful, powerful insight for us to anchor into. That when we take this release and we bring it there to this place of regeneration, this place that holds our epicenter of regenerative power, the womb, that we create anew in a way that is more aligned with what we are calling forth, with what we are asking for. Is this making sense? Sandra says, I love this insight. Well, stay with me because it gets even juicier. We are asking for more of our divinity to be revealed to us. But consistently we're taking actions and we are creating thoughts that are out of alignment with that divinity. Through the systematic structuring, methodical structuring of our own disinheritance of our divinity, through social customs, patriarchal culture that we are in, politics, religion, dogma, all of this stuff. When we are drinking that Kool-Aid and we're buying into that, we are denying ourselves access to our own divinity. And again, this is resulting in a kind of madness. This ultimately gets reflected back out into the world. It is the constant inner and outer battle of peace and chaos, peace and chaos. We have moments of stepping into. Many of you can validate this. Many of you who I know can validate this, who are watching. We are going into this constant back and forth of stepping into our divinity, stepping into these moments of divine revelation of our power, and then being sucked back into the chaos again. And it's this constant play, back and forth, this constant game. We are agreeing to be in this game because we're not doing enough to take actions to lean into our divinity. We're not trusting enough and surrendering enough to our inherent divinity. Trusting that we can create at will. Trusting that the transformative powers that we're looking for are not out there. They are in here. Now this is big, and it's a lot to bite off and chew at this point, and I totally get that. So I ask you to take this further in your own meditation practice and ask for further guidance with your higher self, with whoever you work with, your guides, whatever. Connect with the Mother Creatrix herself that part within the womb, whether it means connecting with your sacral chakra. If you want to connect to the divine creative matrix, which I'm about to connect you to, this is another way to experience her. But I'm petitioning you, I am asking you, I am inviting you to take this initiation further, because that's truly what it is at this time. And you wouldn't be here on this call if there wasn't that spark of divinity within you that is being ignited right now. All right. So if you haven't had water, please have some. I have my garnet, I have my red garnet. So if you have a crystal that you like that helps you to connect with womb energy, sacral energy, carnelian helps, red garnet helps. You could use bloodstone, which is also very grounding. And on the note of grounding, it's really important for you to be as grounded as possible while you receive this. So I would like you to be seated with your feet flat on the floor. Take a moment to gather yourself. Gather your energy into your heart space. Often when we are bringing in new insights, revelations, and concepts, we're resetting the mind, we're resetting the energy. This is a healing, this is a reset, and an attunement and activation all at once. So some unconscious fears can be revealed and come to the surface at this time. So I want to share with you the meditation track I'm listening to. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm going to share it with you. And you may want to listen to this again to help you ground it even further. Okay. Your energy should be settling a little bit more now. There may be some light language coming in, I'm not entirely sure, because I have not run this in a group format before. So we'll all be in for a treat with whatever comes in. Listening to the music if you can. Okay, you can hear it, excellent. Take a few deep breaths in and close your eyes. And start focusing on the heart space. And letting the breathing normalize, even breaths on the inhale and exhale. Feeling the heaviness of the body, the weight of your limbs. Maybe rolling your head on your shoulders a bit, just to loosen it up, loosening the jaw. We often hold tension in the jaw when we are slightly resisting something, or we're trying to open up to something new. Roll your shoulders back to open up the chest. This is a gesture of receiving, signaling the body to be in its resistance-free zone. And in your mind's eye, begin to see a beautiful crimson red, a deep, deep red color. Perhaps it's rich and opaque. It may have a shimmery quality to it. However you imagine it is right and perfect for you. And it is encircling you now in a sphere, a rather large sphere. It's going out about 50 feet in diameter, all around your body, 360 degrees around your physical body. And on your next inhale, imagine pulling some of this light into the heart space, going in through the throat, down into the lungs and into the heart, and expanding in the heart space. And this sphere has a heartbeat that is now matching your own. It is a very calm and even rhythm, perfectly in sync. And now imagine a singular column of this crimson red energy extending down through the body, going out through the soles of the feet, down through all the layers of the earth, all the way down to the crystalline core of Mother Earth. And as you enter this core, you see the walls of the center of the earth lined in red garnet, in ruby, fluorite, amethyst, clear crystalline quartz, rose quartz, carnelian, and you feel this core of the earth suffused in this warm golden light. It is bathing you in its warmth. You feel supported, loved, held, known like no other force or being can know you. It is an ancient energy and knowledge and wisdom that abounds here. And it is all for you. And you fully accept this energy with graciousness, full receptivity, and surrender. And you gather this energy and bring it all the way back up through the soles of the feet and back into the heart. And another singular column of light, of this crimson red light, extends upward now, up and out of the crown, up through the realms and dimensions of space and time, connecting in with the heart of your higher self, continuing up, traveling up, floating up, going through space, time, dimensions, realities, layers of lights, beyond the layers of lights, connecting up and into the web of life, the divine creative matrix. You are rooting into this connection of the divine consciousness grid that connects you with the energy of the one all, the endless tapestry of the universe. And feel into the expansiveness of this connection. You may have images of the Great Mother already floating into your awareness. For some of you are experiencing her as a shapeshifter, seeing the many faces of the goddess, all part of the one, all aspects of the one. Some of you are seeing astrological signs. Some of you are seeing the flower of life. Again, another symbol of the fertile seed of the goddess, of the Mother Creatrix. In all things, the breath of life that creates from herself unto herself. You are the breath within the breath of life. You are the one voice. Some of you may be hearing a tone. You may ask for further clarity on this tone. It may be a tone that is ascribed to you specifically in your frequency as your personal tone or harmonic of creation. And imagine bringing this energy down now, down through this column of connection all the way back down from the heart space, going down further through the solar plexus and into the sacral region, into the womb, into your womb. Some of you may witness a spinning chakra here, a spinning wheel, and you are getting a 360-degree view of it from all sides, going to the front, the side, the back of you, and around again. This is a recalibrating, a resetting of this energy center. You may ask for clarity on what wounding from this lifetime, any lifetime, past, present, or future, that is taking place at this moment. You may be shown images here. You may be receiving clarity or discernment on an issue or a challenge you are facing at this moment. Some of you are receiving a direct release and healing and transcendence of energies that have kept you in the slavery of detachment, is what I'm hearing, which is very interesting. There is a golden energy that is surrounding this crimson light. This is the, how do I say this? Emerging of the polarities of divine feminine, divine masculine, as symbolized by the color gold, the shimmering of gold. It's the unified field that surrounds the all that is. There can be no revelation of your divinity without unity. Some of you may feel the need to cry here or release. This is perfectly normal and right for you. Some of you may feel a warming up of the body. There is no part of you that is not a direct lineage of the goddess. There is no part of you that is not a direct lineage of the god. There is no part of you that does not understand this unity consciousness, the sacred neutrality of that which transcends the duality of masculine and feminine. There is no part of you that does not understand the cycles of life, death, and rebirth, and the timing of that which signals the aspects of all these cycles, the spinning of this wheel, the wheel of life. Simply breathe here. For some of you, this may feel rather big. It's okay. Just stay with the breath. Some of you are experiencing the Dark Mother here. Some of you are seeing... let's see, how do I describe this? So in the womb, you are seeing the cosmic ocean of the vast universe and multiverses. Perhaps you are focused in on a single point within this womb that radiates outwards in all directions, almost like an exploding star or an exploding planet, that it would radiate out or ripple outward in all directions. This is the revelation of your truth coming forth, and this symbolism is showing you that this ripples out into all areas of your life, resulting in imminent transformation. For some of you, this is more than you have been asking for. For some of you, this is more of a revelation than you are ready to receive at this time. Simply ask yourself what resistance is running counter to this belief that would allow you to fully inherit the truth of who you are. Oruna manastena shakina sa ingena bunastana sikena wananagastana sa. Nona shakina shakti nama asana uma. No kinana shakina shakti nasana umanana. Namam, namam, namam. Namam Shakti Shakana Asana Ikadana Anastarte Narastanika Munana. Namam. Non Mananastana Namam. Take a deep breath in and release that. Releasing it into the womb. Do not release it elsewhere. Releasing into the tomb of the womb, so that it may not go into a death stage, but rather a stage of transmutation, transformation, liberation. You are also liberating yourself from the chains of mental slavery, denying your divine inheritance through action, belief, feeling, mechanisms that have been forced upon you, that you have not been involved in the decision making of. This is changing. This is an awakening process for all of us on the planet. As more women anchor into the truth of the power of the womb and the tomb, the revelation, the regenerative power that exists within each and every one of us when we fully inherit this fertile seed of the divine Mother Creatrix that resides within, that has been hidden within since time immemorial. The more we share this, the more we talk about this, the more it creates a ripple effect into the collective, into the cosmos. The more we help the ascension process take hold for all that have not been willing to be awakened, those who are afraid to be awakened, those who are afraid to step into something unknown, unknowable to them, since this lifetime or maybe many lifetimes. Those who have shunned their divinity willingly, voluntarily, are now waking up to a revelation of new belief. You are soldiers in this journey of bringing this truth forward. You are here today as divine warriors of the goddess, and not a warrior as in creating violence, exerting your dominion over mankind, but rather a warrior of enlightened consciousness. That feels good. A way shower in the truest, fullest, most authentic way, with all integrity, without fear. Without fear of repercussion, there is no repercussion to be found. There is no retribution. There is only saving grace. There is only grace. You are being asked at this time to bring forth whatever you are fully ready to release. Whatever lie has been bought and sold to you that you have decided to voluntarily buy and sell over and over again to yourself, what will you take into the tomb? To go briefly into this stage of death, but it is not death. It is transmutation. It is transformation and then rebirth. Taking the energy of this belief, this thought, this feeling, this symbol of your disinheritance. It can be born anew with this energy. Energy can neither be created nor destroyed. You simply transmute and transform. All of this is done in the womb. All of this is done within. You are at will the creator and the destroyer of that which serves you, no longer serves you, will serve you again, will never serve you again. You are anchoring into the truth of this cycle. How it works has always been known to you. The fear you may have had to use it in its full power, aligned with your full integrity, your full ownership of your sovereignty, has now been restored. The spark of your divinity is now lit. It can never be diminished unless through your own resources, your own will. This is not something that can be taken away, diminished, put out through outside sources. It is fully internal, the workings, the mechanisms. What you decide to bring in from the external and bring in as truth in the internal is entirely up to you and through the force of your own will and no one else's. What else would you have us know at this time, Mother Creatrix? My face is on the face of everyone. Those who have not woken up to their own divinity and choose to stay in the darkness, do so at their own will. But I am always the revelation hidden within. I am always that fertile seed hidden within. The more you do this work, the more you open up to me, the more you play in this space within your own body. Work with regenerative power in your own physical being, in your own womb. The truth of this is only more revealed to you in greater depths, through greater revelations, through greater insights, through greater creative modes of inspiration, pathways of receiving. I will never diminish within you now. I will only grow stronger. Namum na nanasa ikano. Namum manana. Namam. Nama shaka shana shinana omanasa inkana. Shekina shakti namam. Shekina Shakti Namam. Go with peace in your heart. Go with balance in your womb. Knowing that the wounding that you choose to hold on to is yours and yours alone, and only you can decide to heal these wounds. You are the extension of the Mother Creatrix that lives in this plane, in this dimension. carries my message forth. You are the soldiers and the warriors of enlightened consciousness. You are the creative force of humanity that carries my story forth. You are my myth realized. You are my dream, my breath, my voice realized. Okay. That feels very deep and very loving. What else would you have us know at this time? Asking here on your own for any further clarity, any further insight. Show me more, tell me more. Homana sa iga. Nino amana. Namam. Nino ma sana ananamam. Ana nastate namam. No kanina. Shekina shakti namam. Arasa. Uma. Naum. Naam. Naam naum. Ne normasana. Shekina shakti nasana. Ne normagita nashtanasi. Ne normana nashtanasa. Numanagata. Namam. Thank you. Now begin to pull your energy down from the womb, going down into all the layers of the earth. And as you pull this energy down from the womb, pulling it down also from the divine creative matrix above, pulling that cord of connection back down through the womb, the energy of the womb back down through all the layers of the earth, into the cradle of life of the core of Mother Gaia, the crystalline core. And asking Gaia to help you further cleanse, transmute, ground any energies here present, allowing you to bring forth the highest and best revelations, insights, thoughts, beliefs for your highest good at this time. Thank you, Gaia. And now bringing this pristine energy back up, all the way back up through the soles of the feet, back up to the top of the head, and allowing yourself to gently, energetically disconnect from this transmission now. And when that feels complete, go ahead and open your eyes. Okay. Who else was crying? I have to say, it's incredibly powerful to work with Mother Creatrix energy on my own. But to bring this in a group, even a small informal group as this, is extremely powerful. I can't imagine what it would be like if there were more present. Catherine's crying too. At the end, I was really, really profoundly moved, and I felt a whoosh of love and support and power rush up from my womb and rush to the top of my head and go down through the soles of my feet, and my whole body warmed up, and it was truly, truly amazing. So it was amazing, Catherine. I'm glad that you were here to experience it live. I wish more of you could be here to feel it live. So what's next? Lots of water. I pretty much always drink water with liquid chlorophyll in it now, because chlorophyll is a natural blood purifier. It is a natural detox, and it tastes good. The only side effect is your poop is green. Big deal. But whatever your body can't use, it leaches it out, it washes it out. But it cleanses the body of a lot of toxins. So with the nature of this kind of release and healing and regeneration, you have released a lot of toxins. So it's really important for you to assist the physical body as much as possible in this process. So lots of water, purified water. Make sure it's optimal if it's more on the alkaline side, because as we release toxins, the body becomes more acid. So the liquid chlorophyll helps with that. Or if you're just drinking alkalized water, you can use reverse osmosis water. You can buy smart water, which is electrolyte water, which is alkalized. That really, really helps. Catherine Hauser says, I felt shackles break. Yes. There's a very strong image of chains, of enslavement, and I got super stuffy as I was bringing this in. Chains of enslavement being broken off and falling away, literally dissolving as that was happening. Sandra said, felt the rush of energy too. Yes. Mm-hmm. Did anyone see any images of the goddess specifically? Or hear any messages specifically? I would love to have you share that, if that came in. Sandra says, lots of release felt. Yes, I felt a lot of release. And so, taking this even further, as you maybe are on your own journey of healing and release, I mean, we're always shedding layers all the time. Begin this practice of releasing it into the womb, which is the tomb. So we're talking about the womb being this vessel for overseeing the cycle. We are, as physical beings and as an expression of the divine feminine in the female gender, we are the overseers of life, death, and rebirth. But the womb is the physical mechanism, the organ in the physical body that allows us to experience this. This is our zone of creation. This is the giver of life on a physical level, but is the giver of life of everything that we wish to create. It is also the place that takes which no longer serves us to transmute it and regenerate that energy into something that we can use. In other words, what we are releasing, if we are releasing it into the womb, and with our intention, because our intention is everything, with our intention we are saying, I release that which no longer serves me to the tomb of the womb. And I ask that the regenerative power, the energy of that, serves that which I am creating in a much more powerful way. Try that. See if that makes a difference in your manifesting process, in how you maybe frame, how you do any kind of healing or release. Practice of releasing to the tomb is empowering and practical. Indeed, indeed. All the lifeblood of our creation is in the womb. So it is that powerful, pregnant energy of creation that overpowers anything that we are releasing. So it would seem before counterintuitive that if we're releasing something, why would we bring it back into the body? But in fact, it's the opposite. We bring it back into this powerful epicenter of our creation that trumps any power of something that diminishes our reality. That's a really powerful revelation and insight. The practice of releasing the tomb is empowering and practical. I saw her, amethyst colored and sparkly, clearing within me. She was almost like a butterfly. Beautiful. I kept seeing a very fertile image of the goddess with faces on it, different faces of the goddess, especially the ones that I've been working with over the last 6 months, of Morrigan and Sekhmet and Bridget and Kali, and who else did I see? Mary, Kuan Yin. I kept seeing the faces change out in a montage. So that was really, really interesting. Feels like a lot of stagnation released and transmuted, indeed. And so what I saw for all of you present was a lot of the mother wounding of, there's no way to say this. To better explain it, I'm just going to say it in these terms. The sins of the mother. So meaning what we have been taught to think of woman in her worst aspect. The sins of the mother only come from this systematic mechanistic disinheritance of her divinity. So how we heal this mother wounding is understanding that if we were begat by women that were cruel, inhumane, disassociated, disconnected, disenfranchised from us, not loving, not giving us what we needed, it comes from a deeper mother wound that has been mechanistically imposed on her and who begat her before her. So I'm going to share in here the divine feminine lineage clearing, which is something that comes through from Goddess Freya. And Catherine, you've already experienced it. Catherine is in the Ascended Feminine Initiation, which is my my Facebook group for light language goddess transmissions. And Goddess Freya brings through this divine feminine lineage clearing. So I will share that with you here in Abundance Flash Mobs. So for those of you who got to experience this live and you want to take this healing of the mother wound, but specifically those of you who are healers and have taken on this lineage of healing with any mother wounding attached to that or any healer wounding attached to that, this will be a clearing for you. So that's super, super powerful. I'm wearing Kuan Yin and I didn't even remember. But Kuan Yin did. Kuan Yin knew exactly where you were going today, Sandra. So ladies, I want to thank you. I know this was a small and intimate group, but I want to thank you for sharing in this space with me and really sharing this profound energy. And I'm going to put this up on my business page. So if you feel that you would like to share this with other people, please share it, because I feel like this could benefit so many of us right now. And that's definitely the messages that keep coming through for me as I work with Mother Creatrix energy, that the more of us who are, as I mentioned in the activation, the warriors of this cosmic consciousness, not warriors in the sense of being warlike or domineering, but warriors in the sense of soldiers carrying forth the divine message of the Mother Creatrix, we can only help to balance the polarities that are existence in the world right now with this energy. So ripple this out, please do. And I'll put my link up to my business page in the comments here when I'm done. Thank you, thank you, thank you, all of you lovely souls, for being here. I so appreciate you sharing and allowing me to be this ambassador of your energies here today. And I take that to heart whenever I work with people in this kind of space. Allowing me to work with and be with your energy is a sacred gift, and that is very important to me. And please make sure you are grounded. So go out, walk on Mother Earth and connect with her energies. Do some earthing, some grounding, so that you fully ground all of the gifts of this activation within you. Okay?